सुबह 9 बजे।
पिताजी सुनना, चाबी दे, मुझे जरा बाहर जाना है। 100 रुपए? क्या बात है?
सुबह 11 बजे।
ये सुनना, जरा पेन देना मुझे।
क्या बात है?
दोपहर 12:30 बजे।
I never knew I had so much. अरे क्या बात है? But do you even know how much more cash is lying around at different places? I mean, if it's about loose cash, चलो फिर भी ठीक है. Do you manage your stocks, mutual fund, FDs in the same way you manage your cash? Hey folks, CA Rachana Ranade here and I welcome you all to a very informative video. Because today we are going to understand about how can you track your personal portfolio very effectively. As we saw in the pre-bumper, when it is about loose cash here and there, it's fun. But what if some assets are lying in one account, some other assets are lying in another account, liabilities are with some other bank? You will not be able to take actionable insights if you don't have a consolidated view of your entire net worth. So in today's video, we are going to talk about 4 key pillars of tracking your personal wealth and also how can you take actionable insights based on that. And there's also one more very important point towards the end of the video. So keep on watching the video till the end. Let's start with the very first pillar, which is asset allocation. Now, if I were to ask someone that tell me how much percentage of your total portfolio is parked in equities, how much is parked in debt, how much percentage is in gold, I'm sure many people may not be able to give the answer to this question. Why? Because they don't have a consolidated view of their entire holding. So they may have invested into equities through different brokers. They might have invested in FDs through different banks. They might have invested in mutual funds through different brokers. They might be doing portfolio investing through something like smallcase. They might have invested in PF or EPF through maybe government portals. But the whole problem, or one more point, they might have invested in gold physically, real estate physically. So what is the problem? Problem is that they have investments, but they are not all at one place. But how could it matter? See, the important point is that there might be a case where they are overexposed to a specific asset class. There might be a problem of over diversification or even under diversification. They may not be able to build a proper portfolio strategy if they don't have a consolidated view of that. So what could be a solution? Solution is very simple. Solution is wealth office on small case. Now what happens? All these asset class go into one app, which is Wealth Office by Small Case. And what it does is it aggregates all your assets in one unified dashboard. What happens because of this is if you just click here exactly, you will be able to see a proper allocation in percentage terms. It will categorize how much percentage is into which asset class. So it gives you a crystal clear idea about your portfolio allocation. Now, what is one more amazing point about this app is that there is a role that AI plays as well. AI can detect if there is over allocation. Let's say 90% is into equity. It can detect over allocation. It can also tell that how much is risk versus return. Is there an imbalance or not? AI can also identify if there is some overlapping holding or not. So there are multiple use cases. In fact, AI can also tell if there is any missing asset class. Let's say you have not input gold. It can say that have you missed inputting gold? So all these things AI can help you out with. So I hope with this you have understood first use case, asset allocation is ticked off. First pillar is clear. Second pillar is what we are going to discuss in the next section of the video. Now let's move on with pillar number 2, which is about liabilities and debt. Now what happens is that many people still take an effort to record all their liabilities at one place, but very few people actually track their liabilities at one place. Now let me give you a simple example. Let's say a person has a car loan, a person has a personal loan, a person has 3 different credit cards with 3 different banks. Okay, now if I were to ask that person that how much is your liability outstanding due for the credit card, how much is the total for that single month, I'm sure very few people may be directly able to tell a single number. Is there any solution for that? But before we move on to the solution, there's also one more important point that you should note, that let's say I'm talking about the car loan again. See, car is not 100% yours until and unless you repay the entire loan. So you have to ensure that you are consolidating all your liabilities also at one place. So what could be a solution? Solution is again very simple. Wealth office on small case. What happens is that all your liabilities will be clubbed up under one single app, and this will give you a consolidated view of your total outstanding loans. So you can see here the total outstanding loans. Also, you can see all the credit card balances here as well. Now, not only this will tell you about how much is your monthly obligation, but this will help you to have a better cash flow awareness alongside your total wealth as well, right? This will also give you a very important feature, which is about your credit score. Now if you tap here, you will be able to see that how much is your total credit score. You need not go to any other separate app. Your credit score appears directly. It also gives you suggestions on how can you improve your credit score as well. What has worked for you, what has not, everything will be given here. Now there is also one more very nice layer on top of this, which is the AI layer. So it can tell you whether there is a high credit utilization. It can also give you tips on how can you reduce your rising debt burden. Very important point is that it can also suggest that if you have a personal loan, you might as well consider taking an LAS, which is loan against stocks, securities, and or maybe LAMF, which is loan against mutual funds. So I hope you have understood pillar number 2 is as important as pillar number 1. Now let's move on with the third pillar, but third pillar is nothing but it is derived from your first and second pillar. First pillar was your assets, second pillar was about your liabilities, and those who fall from commerce background, you already know that assets minus liabilities gives you nothing but net worth, correct? By now I have told you that it's very easy for you to aggregate all your assets with wealth office on small case. All your liabilities can also be aggregated, but just to help you understand how it happens, I'll give you one or two examples. So for example, I were to link all my bank accounts, I were to connect my bank accounts. What do? I click on banks. Here you will find a list of all the banks. What you do is you just select whichever banks you have an account with, and once you select that, it will ask you for an OTP. Okay, after you enter the OTP, that is where all your bank accounts will be fetched and will be unified under their dashboard. Same will happen for a broker. If you say you want to connect a broker app for stocks, it will be like you'll have to log in. So let's say Zerodha, you'll have to log in into that broker account, and wherever necessary, whenever they are actually linking all the key data points, OTPs will be required. That is nothing but you are giving them a permission. You are authenticating that okay, I'm fine if access is to be given and all the data is to be pulled into their account. Okay. Now what happens here is that once you actually input all of these things, no manual tracking using Excel will be required. Because what happens with some people is that they will list down all the assets, liabilities, they'll calculate net worth in Excel, but they'll forget to update that. So if you are tracking it through wealth office on small case, no need to manually update that. But there's one more important point. Some people love to do it in Excel. So there's a very nice feature where you can actually still choose to download the data and put it into Excel and do your own calculations. Okay. So manual tracking, if you want to do by downloading data, that is also possible. But the best part is if you have already given it access, the data keeps on updating, and whenever you need, your data will be updated. You can see your net worth with just one single click, and that is how you see your entire net worth. Best part is that you can see that a monthly snapshot is also stored. So you can see, for example, from April to May, how much your net worth has increased or how much it has decreased. So with a monthly snapshot, you will also be able to see that, oh, it has been increasing. Okay, ideally increasing. Now, one more important point is that they also have a forecast feature, which I'm not sure how many other apps have. Forecast feature will tell that if your assets were to grow at XYZ pace, that will be your net worth maybe as at 2029. Okay, so this is also one very amazing feature that I found in their app. So all in all, these features are amazing, but one more interesting layer on the top which I have discussed is AI again. So for example, you can ask AI that why did my net worth go up by XYZ, or why did my net worth go down by XYZ. It will tell you the exact drivers of change, so that you need not go into unnecessary confusion, and because of the confusion you need not take any wrong decisions, right? So I hope pillar 3 is also absolutely clear. In the next section we talk about the final pillar, number 4. Now, the fourth pillar is nothing but about financial goals. Now, why is this important? See, till now we have been talking about assets, liabilities, net worth, agreed. But if you are investing without understanding your true goals, it will be like clueless investing. You are just running behind earning, you are just investing your money every single month, SIP is this, that, but you don't really know whether that money will be enough to meet your financial goals or not. And that is where the fourth pillar becomes extremely important. Now, how can Wealth Office on small case solve for this? What it does is it actually helps you to map your investments with your goals. So if again, and as I've been telling every single time in this video, that it has a very nice role of AI. Now you can actually ask AI that with the investments that I've already input in this app, will this be enough for my retirement or not? This is an example that I'm giving you for goals. Now what AI will actually do is it will ask you one or two questions, that how much is your monthly expenditure, when do you want to retire, what is your current age and all that. Okay, now based on that it will tell you that are your investments enough or not, and if not, how much should you increase your SIP. Okay, so AI will help you map your investments with your goals and will tell you whether the investment is enough or not, or if you should actually increase it. So I hope this fourth pillar again becomes important, because I believe that investment without goals are just activity, they are not progress. Now let's move on with the final point, because when it comes to aggregating your entire wealth into one single platform, there could be some genuine concerns that people may have about safety and security of their data. And that is the reason why I thought I should ask some uncomfortable questions. I should ask them to the team of Wealth Office by Small Case. I did ask the questions, and these are the answers I got. The very first question I asked them was about data security infrastructure. I asked whether the data that I input or any person inputs, will that be secure or not. For that, they told me, the team told me that yes, they have an end to end encryption of the data. They also conduct third party audits, which ensures that yes, whatever global standard compliance is required, that is taken care of. In fact, they also have certain ISO certifications as well. Second thing that I asked them is about data sharing policy. See, I don't want that I input data in their app and I start getting calls right away that this credit card is good for you and all that. So for that, they very clearly told me that there will be no data sharing or no data selling to third party apps. They very clearly mentioned that whatever financial data I'm inputting into the app, that remains private, that remains platform confined. Third thing that I asked, that at some point in time, if I want to delete the entire data, can I do that? They said absolutely yes. User has an option to delete their data at any point in time. The user has full ownership of data. And the fourth point, which was actually concerning, and I asked them, what about AI data privacy? See, AI features were good, but what if my data is used to train the AI model? For that, they very clearly mentioned that user data is not stored and they don't use the user data for AI training purpose. In fact, they also shared that the data is shared with AI only when user initiates a certain query. AI access is absolutely context based, it is temporary, and it is not retained for future use. So I believe that whatever doubts I have, they have very clearly solved all my queries. If you still have any doubts about their app, please feel free to drop in comments. I will request their team to answer your queries as well. If you found today's video interesting, please don't forget to share this video with your friends. If you found a lot of value, please don't forget to smash the like button as well. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care. Jai Hind and bye bye. You might have come across such advertisements on various social media platforms. Please note, all of these are fraudsters promising unbelievable returns through stock tips. I don't provide any calls or advisory services. I provide only educational content through my social media handles and through my website rachanaranade.com and rachanaranade.in.